We're live. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, so I did it again. I came in just a few seconds early to give us time to set up. So as you are coming in, make sure to hit that comment section. Let me know that you're here. Say hello, and we will start this party because we are on day 4 of the Joypreneur Summit. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Day 4. This went so fast, didn't it? It's so crazy how fast it went. And we've been having so much good information from all the different speakers over all the days. We heard from Angela this morning, and wait until you hear from Dee. We are about to get to that in just a second. If you are new here and you're just arriving, do make sure to post in the comments and say hello and let me know where you're listening in from. You know, if you have a business already, tell me a little bit about your business. I'd love to hear anything that you put in the comments because, you know, we are a community of people from all sorts of different businesses, which you probably figured out from the Joypreneur Summit. If you haven't opted in and seen the list of people who are speaking yet, do make sure to look for that link in the description, because in the description, that link will get you not only the agenda for the rest of today, but it will also get you the freebies from Dee and also everybody today and everybody on the summit and our sponsors as well. So we're talking about something like 40 freebies. So you can look at them all, you can pick and choose, decide which ones are for you, but it's just a huge value. And they've been so generous with everything they've been giving. So I do. And thanks for posting in the comments, everybody. Hey, good to see you. All right. Hey, Laura. Hey, Ellen. Keep on coming in. Thanks for posting about your businesses, too. I see that. I love it. Yeah, you even know some of our sponsors. Isn't that cool? I love it. Yay. So back to the task at hand. And what is the task at hand? Guess what? We want you to be in the club with us. Get to know all these people. Build your business a fun, light, and easy way. You don't have to go it alone. You can go in there. You can ask questions. We are there to help you build your business without doing the hustle and grind, without doing that same old thing that everybody tells you to do. And right now, limited time offer, last day of the summit, baby. If you're going to do it, today's the day. You want to sign up for the Positive Mindset Entrepreneurs Club because you get the pen of expectation. Everything you write with it will come true, and it comes to you in the mail. We do ship worldwide. If you're in the club already and going, hey, what gives? I want that pen. Go look at the post I made yesterday because you can get one too. There's a way for everyone to get one. So you definitely, now is the time to join the club, not only for the pen, but because you know what? Aren't you tired of everybody telling you what you're supposed to do to build your business? Wouldn't it be nice to find out that happiness is the path and that you can train your brain, feel good, get more confident, show up as your best self, and build your business the fun, light, and easy way? That, I mean, come on. How awesome is that, right? All right. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to our next guest, who is Dee Wilkens. She is a Doodle Evangelist. Doodle Evangelist. We're gonna have to. You'll see. I don't even think we'll have to have her explain because you'll see she's passionate about doodling because she believes we were born to create, and I agree with her. She advocates doodling or other creativity as a self-care method. She definitely has a passion and fervor for this topic. And by the time you are done, you are going to see where it's not about the actual art you're creating, but it's about the process and the environment that you're creating. You know, she works with teachers and with kids, and she helps anybody who wants to unleash their creativity and really start living more of their natural lives, because creating is as natural as breathing and sleeping. And oh my gosh, I know we're going to have just the most amazing conversation. Without further ado, welcome Dee Wilkens. Yeah, the crowd goes well.
Hello, yay. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Oh gosh, I almost forgot to tell you too. Guess what? Dee has COVID and she still showed up here. So if she has to take cough breaks, you'll know why she's taking cough breaks. And I just think everybody in the comments, you're already giving her a shout out, but give her another shout out for showing up here with COVID and still stay in the course. So I love that. But I
Yeah,
think you knew like it's just going to be so easy and fun, isn't it?
for sure. For sure. Yep. Happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm really happy to have you here too. I want to start out with this idea of talking about being born to create and how doodling fits into that, because I think if many people are maybe like me. Oh, I love that your dogs just
I
know when
know.
I'm on camera, don't they? And they're like, "Oh, we got
It's
to
true.
come and say hi to."
This is not the normal one. This is Trekker. He's not normally the
I was
cuddler.
wondering if that was Scout. Oh, it's not Scout,
No,
it's Tracker.
she's trying.
We got one in each hand. That's great. I
Yes.
love it. So I want to just come back to this idea of being born to create, because I think some people are probably like me, where they're like, "Oh, I can't draw," or I draw like a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
How? Tell me more about that. How can somebody start to go like, I want to buy into this idea?
Yeah. So, everybody, when you're young, everybody scribbles and doodles, and everyone is proud of their scribbles and doodles, and they can tell stories about their scribbles and doodles, and for 30 minutes they can tell you exactly what they drew, and it is their interpretation of what they drew, and it's their natural communication of what they drew. And then at some point you go to school, and instead of letting people express themselves in the way that is natural to them, we'd say, no, you have to do it exactly this way, and there's a right and a wrong, and we don't allow the natural process to continue. And I think there is place for letters and numbers, but we take away the natural process, and so then people just stop at feeling comfortable with that natural expression. And so, of course, we draw like a 5-year-old, because that's when we stop doing it naturally. But we are created to create. We are, and it's not about, it's not about the art. An artist thinks about what the end result is going to be. But the process of art, the process of creating, is what we crave and what we need. And I don't know if you've ever experienced something like you're going along in life pretty happy and everything's great, and then all of a sudden you have this experience and you're like, where has this been all my life? I need this in my life. And doodling or creativity is like that. When you find the mechanism, or you have the experience where you're like, yes, this is what I've needed. But we're so hung up on the productivity and the need to create something that someone might buy or someone might find aesthetically pleasing, and that's not what it's about. Like, sorry, my dog's butt is
No,
um
you're 100% correct. I couldn't agree more. And I think too that that's also why it gets shut down in us, went from a young age, because we do that comparison game. I know that's what happened to me. Like I figured out really early, like I'm not good at this. They're better at this than I am. This is
right.
not, which is and that's what shuts it down. So could you tell everybody some of the benefits? Let's just use doodling as the example, but I'm sure this
Sure.
applies to all creativity. Like
Right.
what are the benefits of being more letting your creativity flow like that?
Yeah, for sure. you know um I'd like to back up a little bit, and maybe you're going to come back to this question and you can redirect me. I'd like to tell you why I choose doodling, and
Yes.
then go to, so I
Yes.
choose doodling because I used to do a whole, I'm a crafty person. I like all kinds of crafts, but you have to have all the things, like all the glue and all the glitter and all the paper and blah 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 blah, and so it becomes cumbersome, and then you still get hung up on the production of it. Doodling is a piece of something to write on and something to write with. Two things, disposable. That's all you need. You don't need anything else. And you can draw your lines and then you can toss it, because it's not about what you end up with. It's just about the process of doodling. And so the benefits of doodling are, it helps you slow down. We are getting so much thrown at us at an increasing pace every single year that goes by. We just get so much, and we don't have time to process it. And if we don't intentionally slow down, our brain doesn't have the time to do this memory consolidation thing. Our reticular activating system struggles to do the thing that it's supposed to do. So that's the number one thing. Like, we just have to slow down, and it doesn't have to be for an hour. It can be for 5 minutes. Like, I have these little doodle books or papers around my life, and just for 5 minutes, it might even be for 2 minutes, I just do a few lines, and it's slowing down.
Now,
The other
hold on,
thing,
because I know
yeah,
there are a lot more benefits, but I want to say something about this particular benefit. Many of you out there are saying like, oh, I wish I was meditating, or I really want to start meditating. And I'm not, meditating's great. I do it. I love meditation. But if you even just do this, start doodling, you slow down your brain, and you're so focused on what you're doing, you will start to receive like really good ideas and be like in a state
yeah,
of meditation. So I just had to give a shout out for that one.
yeah,
Now, I know there are other benefits, so please continue.
yeah, for sure. Doodling engages both sides of your brain because it is a mathematical skill. People don't know that. Oh, no, it's not. It's art. No, it's not art. Remember, we've already discarded that. We're not starting with an outcome. We're just doodling lines. You can scribble with your non-dominant hand, and that counts as slowing down. And it's connecting your creative mind with your analytical mind, because you are figuring out where the next line is going to go. So you are problem solving, you're doing analytical thinking. So it's like taking your brain to the gym. It's like yoga for the mind. You're strengthening it and you're stretching it both. So it's like doing, if you're musical, it's like doing scales. It's not, you're not going to perform scales in front of Carnegie Hall. It's kind of, but it's fun. You don't have to do it perfectly correctly. Scales, you have to do so technically correctly. You don't. You can scribble with your non-dominant hand and it's right. So there's no right and wrong with doodling. It's anytime you put paper to pen and you are, doing lines, you're doing it correctly. And the fact that handwriting, penmanship has been taken out of schools is such a disservice, because that was the slowing down. That was the process of, that was the one thing in the classroom that would help people like regulate. Okay, I'm going to slow down now. I'm going to do this thing.
And speaking of classroom, since you just brought it up and we're talking about the benefits, doodling while you study is a benefit too, right? Talk about
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah. So there are scientific studies that show that. There's a great one. I'm not going to go into all the details, but there was a study where two sets of students were given information, and the students who colored in random geometric shapes remembered things 19% better than students who were given no direction. So, and it had nothing to do with what they were learning. It was just a random information. And so imagine if they were writing a keyword and doodling it in, or writing a keyword and just doing arrows or stars, or and it doesn't, if you think about it doesn't matter what the keyword that they come up with, they're already going to remember 50% more because they're grasping information. So it's not, you don't have to tell them this is the key word. I want you to listen, and when a word pops out to you that you think is part of this lesson, write it down and make it into big bubble letters. And if something else pops out at you, draw a picture of it. It doesn't. It can be words. It can be images. It can be geometric shapes. It can be scribbles. It doesn't matter. When your brain is, you listen better when you're doodling.
I'm almost thinking like, I think that's the stopper, like right away, of course, I go to mindset in the sense of, and I know you do too, like you're a big proponent of mindset, but I'm thinking like, what stops us from actually just starting? And I'm wondering if it's like, we feel like, well, where do I start or what do I do? But it sounds to me like what you're saying is literally, if you just make it a priority to take a pad of paper and just draw straight lines, you've started. Like, is there any other advice you would give about how to, do you make time? Do you put a reminder note up like Doodle now, or do you attach it to something else you're doing? Like maybe if you have a nightly habit of watching TV, you doodle. Well, I mean, what would be the best way to start for somebody, just like starting a meditation habit?
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
how do you do it? How do you actually get going?
Yeah. No, that's a great question. And I'm trying to think, how did I get going?
Oh,
um,
by the way, before she answers, you need to know that Dee actually has, what's it called? The tremor in your hand. I forget the
Essential
name of it.
tremor. Yeah, an essential.
Essential tremor, and she's still a doodler. So we got no excuses, people. All right.
Yep. I just embrace it. My lines are jiggly. That's how it is. And people say, no, they're not. And I'm like, look at them. They are so true. And you are your worst critic. Like you look at your work and go, oh, but yours are mine are not smooth. It's fine. And stop judging. It's not about the art. Sheesh.
Well, and I'm
Anyway,
getting
yeah,
that now, and I want you to answer how to start, but I'm getting that now. Like it really feels to me like you're not like throw out everything that you create because it's not, it's actually
sure.
about the doing of it. It was kind of like imagine meditating and going like, well, what did I get out of that? What was the result I got? Like what you got,
Right.
the result you got was the nice mind and the relaxing time, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. That's
So
exactly
yes,
right.
please.
Yeah.
How do we start? Because I
Yeah.
know if everybody's like, yes, she is an evangelist, because now I want to doodle.
Right. Start small. Start with the post-it note. And I go back and forth between like toss it. Like the reason I say toss it is because I don't want you to be hung up on the outcome. But it is kind of fun to see how you progress. So I say it with a grain of salt. Like I have these tiny little books that I doodle in, and I kind of enjoy. And I never start one and finish it all the way through. I have like a million of these, like all over my house in various stages of being done, and I don't care. Like I'll be partway through one and stop, and like 2 years later I'll finish it. Like whatever, it doesn't matter. Um, and it's kind of fun to see how I progress. And my lines are getting better, and sometimes they're worse, and it depends on my essential tremor, and it's okay. So start small because we have this. I still fight with. I want to finish something I start. I don't have that much. I mean, some of that I have a little bit of. Um, but just a little thing like draw a square and make a pattern in it. Done. Don't try to finish a page. Draw a scribble, fill in one little section of it. The next time you have a minute, do another section of it. Don't hold yourself to this high standard. If you're on a phone call, do a section. If you are waiting for someone, do a section. I have these little cards that have different patterns on them that people can easily slide into their purse or in the book that they can doodle. A bookmark is a perfect size, but don't try to do the whole thing in one sitting. Just carry it with you, and when you're done with it, if you like it, keep it in your book. If you hate it, toss it. It doesn't matter. It's not about what you've done. It's about what you've done.
Right. That's yeah, I like that. Yeah, I'm almost as saying to myself, like we all have different times of day where we're waiting for things. Like we're waiting for the tea to boil, right? Or we're waiting for,
Right.
something like the rice to cook or whatever it is that we're doing. And I'm thinking if we had those little books sitting around or something that you could doodle on and a note to remind yourself, like
Yeah.
doodle for your brain, right? Doodle for your brain or something like that. It would be a good way to start accessing that and start feeling, very, very good stuff. So, I want to ask before we get in, I want to talk a little bit more about mindset, but before we do, I want to ask about the benefits about bringing this into the classroom because
Mm,
I know that's your jam and I know you help
yeah.
teachers in particular. Ideally, you're saying, teacher, you need this for yourself for self-care, but you also know the benefits of bringing it into the classroom. And so can you speak to that just a little bit?
Yeah. So my education is in I became a teacher, but I didn't spend a lot of time in the classroom. But I know that as a teacher, you're so stressed and you spend so much time pouring into others, and there is zero time for self-care. I mean, you're busy, you're doing your family, you're doing the students, you're doing the school, involved in your community. And it's just precious little time. But if you inside your classroom spend time doodling, and it's a pattern with your kids, and it just starts little. We all going to take a post-it note, and right after recess we're going to doodle this thing together, and it's fun. It's like it's a treat that we get to do together, and we're just breathing, we're doing this pretty pattern. It's fun. And it doesn't matter if you do it right or wrong. It doesn't matter if it looks like mine, if it looks like, you just make a pattern. I'm going to show you this one. If yours looks different, that's great. But you're calming yourself down, and you're giving the kids permission to calm themselves down. And it gives them a tool that they can use at some point to also, they don't have to follow your lead. Like sometimes when you've developed a culture of doodling in your classroom, it's a tool that they can use at home. I mean, imagine a world where everyone, when they felt pent up and frustrated and stressed, they all just took a break and doodled. That's the
Yes,
way I
I
want to live.
seriously, right? It's so good. And I love you. I don't even know if you caught it, but it's like use it as like a little treat in the classroom. And I was thinking immediately when you said that, like, I want that little treat. I want that little treat for myself. Like we were just talking last session with Angela about how sometimes you feel like I want to eat something to make myself feel better. Well, oh my
Right.
gosh, what if you could say like, this is how I'm going to reward myself. I'm going to give myself the gift of a
Yes.
quiet mind for 5 minutes or 10
Yeah.
minutes, just doodling something. And I mean,
Yeah.
oh, come on, we deserve that, don't we? We deserve to just give
Absolutely.
ourselves that peace and quiet and do it. So I love all of this. And by the way, I know everybody, I'm seeing your comments coming in. Everybody's like, I can see myself doodling for my brain, and love that yoga for the mind and all this. We're created to create.
Yeah.
And yeah, I see doodling helping everyone release stress, tap into their better brain. Exactly. All of this. You're
Yeah.
right. Love Dee's doodling for self-care, because it is self-care. It is
Yeah.
self-care when you take care of your brain. And we could
For sure.
go on and on and on because the benefits are just outstanding. I want to
Yeah.
take 1 second and talk a little bit about building what, let's just call it an art business, or building a
Mm.
business in kind of the creativity niche, because I think we're
Sure.
seeing more and more people do this, whether it's with printables or art or doodling or whatever. And do you feel like you have had to do some specific kind of brain training or bust certain stories about being able to make money as somebody who's a creator? And if so, maybe you can talk a little bit about like what are some of the stories you've stumbled across, and what are some of the ways you kind of reframe them?
That's so funny, because the story that I tell you about, it's not about the product. I have to bust myself all the time because I'm not an artist. I cannot start with an end in mind and reach that end. That's why I doodle, because I can put one line after the other and end up somewhere quite decent. But I cannot, don't ask me to end up at this spot. So yes, my story, that I have to bust myself with is, you know, I'm good enough without having to worry about the art. Just go with the flow. Go trust the process. The process gets you wherever you need to go, and everybody is. You can't compare yourself to someone who is a natural artist. Like, people look at me and go, "But you are a natural artist." Well, of course, I would hope that after doodling for 12 years, I would be somewhere. Like,
Right.
surely after my 5 hours of days of doodling in every single meeting at work, so
It's
yes,
true though.
I have improved, and good for me.
I like that
um,
you said that mantra, like, "I'm good enough." Like,
yeah,
yeah, I'm good enough. Like, we could all use that for everything, every business you're
yeah,
in, if you just start saying, "I'm good enough." And
for
you're
sure,
right. Why
yeah.
are we comparing ourselves to people who are like, it's like, imagine like the natural guitarist who's like 8 years old and on America's Got Talent and playing like Jimi Hendrix. We
Right.
don't go like, "Oh, I'm not as good as them at the guitar." We're
Yeah,
so
yeah.
funny, aren't we, as
I know.
humans?
I
Yeah.
know.
So
We truly
so
are our worst critics. And, I can look at someone and their first time doodling, I'm like, oh my gosh, you doodle like 50 times better than I could ever doodle. And this is your first time. And they're like, oh, but it doesn't look like yours. I'm like, thank goodness it doesn't look like mine. You're like 20 times better than me. Stop it.
yeah, that's right. Oh, it's so true. And you know what's funny is when you take away that need for the art to be good, and you
Yeah.
do it for the process of it. You know, everybody
Yeah.
here is saying, I never thought about doodling as slowing down. It's helped me to appreciate the freedom and creativity of doodling while releasing that self-imposed pressure of perfectionism. Like really, you know, the things you're saying, it goes so much more beyond that. And that I kind of I'm just feeling like I'm feeling so much appreciation for you, Dee, that you've decided, like, you know, this is something I love, and I'm gonna be an evangelist. If you think Dee's an evangelist, now you know why we call her an evangelist. Put a oh hell yeah in the comments, and that you were decided, you know what, I'm gonna make this my business. This is something
Yeah.
I love, and I'm gonna do it as a business. If somebody else is out there thinking that, like, I really love animals, or I really love playing music, or I really love dancing, like, would you just say, go for it? Or what advice would you give them? Like,
Yeah.
how do you follow your passion? What makes you decide, like, I'm going to do this thing that I'm passionate about?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that I'm not selling art. I'm not selling how to draw a line. I'm just selling the fact that everybody needs self-care, and we are created to create. And so I am the evangelist that says, slow down. Like, you know, if you can't create by doing something else, I know that you can find something to write with. It might be a stick and it might be dirt, but you can doodle and just
That's
do the
right.
thing, you know, just slow down, because we live in a world where we are going at such an incredible, and I need people to slow down. Like, I cannot be around the people who are going so fast. Like, I
Yeah.
need to find my crew who are willing to just like sit tight for a bit and go, okay, you know, we're gonna draw one line at a time. Right now it's gonna be one line. Okay, now we're gonna draw another line.
It's really, this is really up for me as well right now, just about moving into this next phase of the world's evolution in a slower, more thoughtful way. So you're really nailing exactly where I'm at. Before we wrap up, there comes Scout. We can't leave without Scout being
Yeah.
on your
And
lap.
there you go. She's been dying. She's been dying. Tracker just camped out on my lap the whole time, and she's like,
Yeah,
what is this?
it's like, when's my
Oh,
turn? Marcy wants to know if you add color to your doodling, and I know you do sometimes, right?
sometimes I like to add color, but I often do lines as color. So I use different textures as color, and I have my own doodle alphabet. If you got my freebie, you saw my doodle
I'm actually
alphabet.
going to, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going to talk about
And
that
so
right now, because this will
and that's
help
my
you,
color.
Marcy.
Yeah.
That's great. I love it.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, could you make sure and tell everybody, like anybody who's out there who is wanting to follow their passion, who wants to have a better mindset, who wants to live a better life, like if you could give them one piece of advice right now, like just do this, or just think this, or just start this habit besides doodling, what would you tell them?
I would tell them, yeah, you're created to create. Just just find the thing that makes you feel like you are creating without it being a product. Don't try to make something that someone wants to buy. Just create for creating self, creating sake. The sake of creating. Make it ugly. Just do it.
Yeah, right? I love this. Yeah, Dee, you're
Yeah.
so right. Thank you so much. This is so awesome. Didn't you just flippin' love that? And don't you feel like, I'm going to do this? I'm going to put a little notepad and a pen in a few different locations of my house. I'm going to put a little note to remind myself, and I'm going to give myself the gift of time. I'm going to give myself the gift of slowing down. I'm going to give myself the gift of creativity. And we were born to create. What a nice thing just to be released from that perfection. I know you love this as much as I do. I can see everybody's like, yes, I am on it. It's good for your brain. It's good for your life. It's good for so much. So I want to come back to that freebie that Dee was talking about, because some of us don't really know where to start, where we're like, well, what do you mean doodle? Do I have to just sit there and draw a stickman, or how does that work? And so definitely get Dee's freebie. And I've used this, and this is really cool, and it works, and you can create almost anything with this, but she gives you her disco lines system. And I won't go into explaining what it is, because that's what the freebie's for, is to explain exactly what it is, but it will show you how just with a few simple strokes, you can get started and you can start doodling and creating things that are kind of cool. And like, you're like, okay, well, this feels pretty good. Like, I'm actually getting the hang of this. So definitely check that out. The place you find it is you go to the link in the description. And when you look at the link in the description, you're going to be able to get not only Dee's freebie, but you're going to get the freebies for everybody else who's on the summit and all of our sponsors too. So for example, if you look today, you're going to see one of our sponsors is Karen Mitchell. She's a graphic designer. Funny how that kind of lined up, isn't it? The two art things. Well, Karen creates beautiful logos. And, if you thought about getting a new logo for your business, if you thought about some graphic design you need, go check out her link and go check out Dee's freebie and go check out everybody else from today. And guess what? When you use that link that's in the description, you also get access to everybody else's freebies who are even on the summit, like something like 40 different freebies. Like, oh my gosh, pick and choose the ones you want and get them. And remember, one other thing is that when you join the Positive Mindset Entrepreneurs Club right now, like, this is it. This is day 4 of the summit. We're done after today. And this is a limited time bonus. When you sign up right now, you will get the pen of expectation in the mail. Everything you write with it will come true. And I do ship worldwide. And if you're in the club already and you're like, hey, I want that, go look at the post I made yesterday, because there's a way for you to get one too. I got to give you Dee's favorite mantra. It's all is well. It's one of my favorites too. Like, really just feel the peace of that. All is well. And I won't go into where she found it, because we will be talking about Bollywood movies before you know it. I want to remind you that I'm going to be live here in 29 minutes again with Lee Aubert. Lee, she's a work well coach, and what she means is work well from home. She wants to optimize your time at home so that you're actually getting more done without like either feeling like you're wasting time or working too many hours. You're really, she supports you having healthy, mindful practices that supercharge your productivity, and you actually enjoy your business more. So you get more done. You get more done in less time. I know it's going to be really exciting to talk to her. She has all sorts of information about the different kinds of styles for working at home. Oh, we're going to have such a good time. It's going to be here in 29 minutes. I hope you're enjoying the Joypreneur Summit as much as I am. And I will see you very soon at the top of the hour. See you soon.